Now hop into Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop or pretty much wherever you can find color codes. And what I'm going to do is you can see that we have an RGB value here. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to pick a nice light color for the blue here. So I was thinking that this blue would be something like this. Okay. And what I do is I kind of round out the numbers because they're easier to understand. So we have 270 by 130 by 220. Okay, and then these are all at a 255, and if we go back into Xcode and we go back all the way up to this, for example, the blue foreground here, we need to make these out of 255. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go divided by 255, and whatever number we put in the front part here, it will equal a number or decimal before 1. So if we go back to Adobe Illustrator, it's 70, 130, and 220. So it's going to be 70, 130, and 220. Okay, and if we run that now, the blue will be that color. Okay, so if we run that, I think for the most part, the rest of the colors actually look pretty good. Okay, so the blue, and I think that looks actually pretty good. I do like that quite a bit better. Okay, if anything, it could be a bit lighter, but if we really wanted to, we could copy this and paste it in the green foreground. Okay, and all we would have to do is we would have to change, make a green foreground color. So something like that is probably what I was looking for anyway. So I round everything off, so we'll make it 70, 170, and then 120. And it does change up a bit. I understand that. So 70, 170, and then 120. So 70, 170, and then 120. Okay, and let's just take a look at that here. And red's actually kind of a tricky color because the light red's a pink color, but we're going to go ahead and make that work. And yeah, actually that comes out to be actually I think pretty nice in my opinion. Okay, so lastly we need a red color, and let's go and let's put this up to red here. And so if you make it light, it ends up being this pink color. So red is a little bit more tricky. So I'm going to say it's something like that, that color here. So let's do that here. We'll say this is 220, and we'll say this is 80 by 80, and there we go. Okay, and I think that's probably a good color. Let's go back into Xcode here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to again copy this so that the red foreground color is something new. So if we look at this here, we have 220 and then 80 and 80 again. So it's 220 and then we have 80 and 80. All right, and if we take a look at this here, maybe we won't get red on the first bit here, but it will probably look pretty good. Okay, so we got blue here, and then we can just kind of lose, and then we can see if we can get red in the next one. If not, we'll find out a different time here. But for now, what we need to do is we need to add in the very light color. All right, so in order to do that, let's go back to our blue first. Okay, and so instead of making it white, let's just make it like a really, really light blue. Okay, something like this. So we'll say this is 200, and then we have 220, and then 240. Okay, so let's go back into Xcode, and we'll say blue. We'll add in a variable here. We'll call this blue text color. Okay, and we'll make that equal to UI color, and then it's going to be an RGBA value. But what we can do is we can just copy this RGBA value here. And if we go back into Adobe Illustrator, we'll say it's 200, 220, 240. So I like doing this method here. So it's 200, 220, and then likewise here, it's going to be 240. Okay, let's do the same thing for green. We'll say var, we'll call this green text color, make it equal to, and we can just literally copy this UI color, and that way we'll add in our own green color. Now, if we go back to Adobe Illustrator here, and we kind of go into our green, we can make this, for example, 200, 240, and 220. So 200, 240, 220. Let's take a look at that and let's enter it in here. So 200, And essentially we just mix these two up. Okay. Likewise, let's go back into Adobe Illustrator and we'll move this all the way up to red. And I'm just going to make it a little bit deeper. Okay, because we do need it to be, red's a little bit different. We have to make it a little bit deeper. So something and deeper and grayer. So kind of like that here. So this will be 230 and 150, 150. So that's pretty simple to remember. And we'll call this var red text color. Make that equal to, and do I still have it in there? Yes. So it's 230 and it's going to be 150 and 150. Okay. So we now need to go into our color area here. And if we just take a look at this, timer did begin contact, and then we have the collision here, the game over logic. And it's actually kind of difficult to scroll over. Okay, so yeah, we have our select color here. And what we can do is we can go and any time, for example, we do change the colors here. And we just need to take a look at that here. We got the circle, and there we go. And here's where we set color of spawn nodes. So let's add in our 0, which is our red color. So we're going to say LBL main dot font color, and remember it's dot font color is going to equal to red text color. Okay, and LBL score dot font color dot font color is equal to red text color. Okay, and all we need to do is the same thing for the other two. So we're going to say that this is the LBL main dot font color is equal to green text color, and then LBL score dot font color is equal to green text color. All right. And of course, blue, we're going to go to LBL score dot font color is equal to blue text color, and then it's best to do it in order. So LBL main dot font color is equal to blue text color. All right. So let's run that. Let's take a look at how this works here. All right, and there you go. All right, and so you see there's a little bit of a delay there, and I do like the theming of it. All right, but we have to fix that delay. Okay, so we play it again, and yeah, the blue does work too. Let's see if we can take a look at the green before we move on. All right, and the blue again. Let's see if we can take a look and make green before we move on here, and blue again. And I have to like the blue, and the green's probably going to work because it is that here. Okay, so let's take a look at that error in the next tutorial.